I'm working on a review of South Park The Stick of Truth at the moment, but I figured that while you guys wait, I'd do something a little different. That'd be my very first top 10 list. Everyone's done these, so I figured, I'd try my hand with it. The first one being 10 of the greatest moments in video games ever. Oh, yeah, sure, I could just pick 10 from IGN's top 100 video games moments, but more than half of those basically meant to turn the game on. That'd be stupid. With that said, let's start with number 10. I'll admit, I'm not much of a Castlevania fan. Oh sure, I've dabbled in Rondo of Blood, well, the PSP remake anyway, and Symphony of the Night, but never really got into it, which is, well, kind of ironic, considering how most of the creatures and gothic architecture reminds me of the Vampire Hunter D books, which I love. I've seen Let's Plays done by the Super Gaming Brothers and Brain Scratch Comms, which brings me to my number 10 pick. The moment they got my favorite internet reviewer, some Call Me Johnny, into the game. Look at that! Castlevania games were bloody before this, looking at you, Bloodlines, but this! That should give you an idea of what kind of game you're getting into with Symphony of the Night. If you saw my review of God of War, then you know that I really liked that game. I still have yet to get to the next few installments in the franchise to review, but I will say that right now, God of War 3 is by far the best installment ever. You not only get to kill all the gods of Olympus, but you also kill a Titan. Looking at you, Kronos. You fight Kronos when Hephaestus sends you on a mission to get an item he needs to make Kratos a new weapon, and after fighting up the Titan's body and dealing with a zombie Cyclops, yeah, that's something I want to see him 4 in the fucking morning, Kronos fucking eats your ass. How do you get out? By climbing up his throat? No, that's something you do in God of War 2. What do we really do? You slice the motherfucker open from the inside. I don't care if you bash Zeus's face in at the end. I don't care if you get a glimpse at Kratos' broken mind. I don't care if you give Gaia a literal fucking heart attack. Nothing, I repeat, nothing will be disemboweling a creature the size of the goddamn Sears Tower from his stomach. Now, if you'll excuse me for stealing Linkara's joke, I am a man! I could have made a top 10 list using God of War 3 alone, but this moment right here tops them all. They say that the next installment's going to be centered around Norse mythology. Kratos versus Hermod. I wonder who would win that one. Well, only one way to find out. It's time for a death battle! Is it Kingdom Come moment in a Let's Play a video game moment? Fuck it, I'm doing it anyway. I've brought up the Super Gaming Brothers a few times before, including in this video. Johnny, who's also a member of Brain Scratch Comms, his younger brother Elliot, and Johnny's best friend Matt formed the group, and a couple of years ago for Halloween, Elliot took us through the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, though it should be noted that he only played through the first night before the Let's Play. Do you see where this is going? Barring one death due to losing track of the rabbit on night 1, Elliot went into nearly 80% of the game blind. The kid did a blind run of Five Nights at Freddy's. Show me one other person who can do that. These guys don't fucking count. Elliot, you still have yet to prove that you could beat the next 3 installments, but for getting through FNAF 1 just by playing it by ear, we are forgiving you for the atrocities known as World War I and Crash Bandicoot Warped. Oh, Elliot, we forgive. We will never forget. The first Twisted Metal game was a launch title for the PlayStation back in 1995, but it's not the one most people remember when talking about the franchise. No, that honor belongs to the second entry in the series, Twisted Metal 2 World Tour, which saw our motorists travel the world going to Los Angeles, New York, China, and even Antarctica. But of all these places, there's one place that stands out among fans, that being Paris. Why? Well, have you ever seen the first G.I. Joe movie? Remember the scene where they bring down the Eiffel Tower? Well, where do you think they got the idea? Down she goes! Yeah, nowadays people would get their panties in a bunch because of a scene like this, but Twisted Metal 2 is just so out there and so over the top that this moment can't help but be just so damn cool. You wanna know where the term swears like a sailor comes from? Pick up these two books. And if you haven't read them, then do me a favor, don't fucking bitch about the Rogue Warrior game being full of fucking expletives that would make an angry video game out of plush. Yeah, that's something that's always bugged me about the game. Not the short campaign, not the fact that Mickey Rourke is voicing a true American badass, not the fact that it seems like a shallow knockoff of VA's Medal of Honor series, but the reviewers complain that there's too much swearing. Still, you'd think that this would make up for it. It's always satisfying to stealth kill a mook. My favorite one has to be this, the reach around of death. Fuck yeah. Sure, you got your standard chokehold and suplex, but nothing beats a mook getting stabbed in the throat. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to get back to my reading. I can sum up this next moment in 5 short words. Motherfucker suplexed a train! Okay, let's be serious here. Actually, let's talk about another Square game, Parasite Eve. Did you know that it's a sequel to a Japanese horror novel turned successful film? I haven't read the book since an English translation is so rare as to be virtually non-existent, but I have seen the movie and it's okay. But this game, well, maybe I'll go more in depth another time. Special. Sorry. It's not a boss battle that instantly comes to mind, though. No, it's the one scene you'll see in all the trailers of the game, the opening at the Opera House. I was 6 when I first saw that on a PlayStation Underground demo disc, so just imagine how shat my pants were when I saw people bursting into flames! Yes, friends, this is an RPG, but just look at it! This game is coming from Square, the same people who brought us Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger, and yet here they are setting Carnegie Hall on fire. What a way to start off your Christmas, huh? I don't know if I should be amused by this or disturbed by this.
Me. I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat?
Wow. Hard to believe that Conker was supposed to be a child-friendly, huh? I mean, given the context of Bad Fur Day, where Conker just wants to go home after a bad night at the bar, but through a series of convoluted mishaps ends up becoming the king of the land. Those mishaps including bouncing on sunflowers, assets, getting drunk and pissing on people, and the moment that made it into this countdown, facing off against a giant operatic monster made of feces. Reactions to this thing range from laughter, confusion, and upchucking. Things like this are part of the reason why Conker was giving an M rating. This moment is fucking ridiculous and is one of the many moments people think about when thinking about Conker's Bad Fur Day. That and the Saving Private Ryan homage. I've said before that Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is my favorite entry in the series. Bullshit water puzzle at the end notwithstanding. And while RE3 is still my favorite, I cannot deny just how many cool moments there were in Resident Evil 4. But there's one moment that sticks out in everyone's mind. That moment being the shootout in the cabin near the end of the first third of the game. After rescuing Ashley, she and Leon meet up with Luis in an old cabin where they're surrounded by the mooks, so Leon and Luis have to fight them off. Sounds simple enough. But really, it's a tense moment for any first-time player. Just imagine using up a good chunk of your ammo on the earlier enemies and not visiting the merchant before coming here. You'll be stuck with the knife, which thankfully isn't as useless as before, but your palms will be sweating, your fingers will be twitching, and if you accidentally shoot Luis too many times...
Adios, Leon. Oops.
Inuyasha is my favorite anime, and I have the game Secret of the Cursed Mask to thank for getting me into the series. Oh sure, the overworld character models are flat and static, but the battle system is great, sort of reminds me of Final Fantasy X, and the music of course is really good. But for many people it both spoiled and gave foreshadowing to the events that would happen much later in the series, such as Naraku's new look, and really, if the final battle is against Naraku, then you know where we're going with this scene. Oh sure, Naraku wouldn't actually die until much, much later in the series. But to see Inuyasha put an end to the group's greatest enemy, even if it is non-canon and more or less official fanfiction, it's just so satisfying. After all, Naraku gave everyone so much shit. Well, you know what? It's my turn. Ishan, die, you piece of cock cheese! Before I get to number 1, let's do a quick recap. Number 10, Bloody Zombie from Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. Number 9, Disemboweling Kronos from God of War 3. Number 8, Elliot being FNAF 1 blind. Number 7, Destroying the Eiffel Tower from Twisted Metal 2 World Tour. Number 6, The Stealth Kill from Rogue Warrior. Number 5, The Opening to Parasite Eve. Number 4, The Great Mighty Pooh from Conker's Bad Fur Day. Number 3, The Cabin Shootout from Resident Evil 4. Number 2, Defeating Naraku from Inuyasha, Secret of the Cursed Mask. There are so many amazing boss battles from the Kingdom Hearts series. The final battle with Xemnas in KH2 is up there as one of the best final boss battles in video game history, and unlike most people, I enjoyed fighting Giant Ursula in the first game. Of course, there are a few snags here and there, like fucking yes and possess Riku from Kingdom Hearts 1, and fuck you, Denix, fuck you and your fucking water goddamn clones, fuck you! Back on track. In Vanilla 2, the fight with Roxas was a cutscene. In Final Mix, the cutscene still happens, but only after you fight Roxas. And whew, boy is it a fun fight. Oh, sure, it's hard. Roxas hits like a truck and doesn't give you all that much time to recover, thank God for Leaf Bracer. But when you finally start to attack, when you finally whittle his health down to 0, that's such an accomplishment, particularly if you're that one idiot who came into the final world of the game unprepared. In defense, this sort of sneaks up on you and comes right the hell out of nowhere, but on subsequent playthroughs, you should know what you're getting into. It helps that Roxas' theme is playing during the fight. Yeah, it doesn't exactly fit, but it's a pretty relaxing tune that almost reminds me of Melodies of Life from Final Fantasy IX. And there we have my very first top 10 list. Will there be more of these in the future? Maybe, but for the moment, we'll leave this as a one-time thing. In the meantime, I gotta get back to South Park. See you then.
A is for Aerith, stabbed right through the tummy. B is for Bowser, whose bridge work was crummy. C is for Chrono, or was that his double? D is for Dalsim, who had yoga trouble. E is for Echo, and he was delicious. F is for Frogger, who got too ambitious. G is for Ganon, who gained too much weight. H is for Heavy, whose sandwich was baked. Game over. over, game over. Everyone's game ends eventually. Game over, game over. Let's count the ways from A to Z. I is for Iceman, whose best friend was Hawk. J is for Jim, whom the early bird caught. K is for Kirby, popped like a balloon. L is for Link, who was crushed by the moon. M is for Mario, faulty transmission. N is for Navi, why wouldn't they listen? O is for Old Man, who needed that sword. P is for Pac-Man, who Blinky adored. Game over, game over. Everyone's game ends eventually. Game over, game over. Let's count the ways from A to Z. Q is for Cubert, who fell down the stairs. R is for Rayman, since nobody cares. S is for Sonic, who